Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to the stream. Looks like we've got a bunch of people in here already, which is awesome. Last call, how's it going? Chris, long time no see, how are you? I'm doing very, very well. Been busy, but all is good. Hopefully, you've been doing well. Richard says, damn a hole, 7 people. Well, 7 people's a lot for me, so I'm happy with anyone showing up. Yeah. A lot is subjective, I suppose. But how is everybody doing today? I'm really excited. I like the idea of doing the AMAs live every month. I think that'll be a lot of fun. But yeah, so if anyone has any questions or things that you want me to talk about, it's all we're here for. I don't really have any planned topics, so I figured we could all just chat and hang out, get comfortable, get situated. But yeah, another month down. How is everybody doing? Excellent. Well, no comments. Well, I did have in one of the other videos, I had said to leave comments for this live stream if you weren't able to make it. Someone had asked me what my diet and exercise routine was like now compared to when I was working, since I've been working from home and freelancing full time. And it's been relatively similar. I've actually been doing most of my workouts at home. I have an apartment gym, like a really tiny little gym in my apartment. I actually canceled my big gym membership a while back, but I've just been doing workouts with body weight and resistance bands in my home office. It's been going really well. I like it. Saves me a bunch of time, but yeah, it's been great. And then as far as diet goes, being home to cook has been super awesome. So yeah, I've been eating a little bit more variety. I've also been kind of winging it a little bit more, just because I'm here and I'm able to cook a little bit more frequently. I don't have to stress so much about planning and having every meal ready for the next 5, 6 days because I know I'm going to be gone all day every day. So it's been really good. Last call asks, using Filmora, any suggestions on a decent, cheap editing software? What program do you use? I am a Final Cut Pro editor. I really like it. I know some people are, diehard Premiere folks, but Final Cut Pro, I mean, on the spectrum is relatively cheap. It's $300. I know if you're just making small YouTube videos and stuff, though, that's a big ticket item if you're not using it professionally. But I haven't tried out a lot of the free ones, but DaVinci Resolve, I've heard a lot of really, really good things about DaVinci Resolve, and that is completely free from what I remember. A lot of professionals use that for color grading, but they do have kind of all the full editing um, tools in there, if I'm remembering right. So I'd check out DaVinci Resolve. Also, something a little bit more basic, but still pretty substantial for just like simple YouTube videos. iMovie works really well. I've never tried Filmora, but I have heard that name around. But yeah, I would take a look at DaVinci Resolve. It seems like a lot of the pros are fans of that as well. But yeah, what else? Anyone else have any questions or anything? Trying to think of anything I've had going on that I can chit chat about. I might be making a music video tomorrow. I'm still trying to iron out details, but I've got that coming up. I have 2 cat photo shoots coming up next week, right in the thick of it. It is just a new day, new challenge lately. It's been busy. Let's see, Richard, let's talk about new opium drug laws. Can't get my meds for pain, but damn sure get all the weed in the world in the local weed shop. What? Yeah, I don't know. I haven't really heard anything about the new opium drug laws, so I can't really speak to that. Mohit, it's 10:42 p.m. over here at night, and I'm still watching you. Well, thanks so much. I am a cranky old man if I stay up too late, so I really appreciate it. That's so cool, though. Whereabouts are you at? I can't tell from your name. 10:42 p.m. Yeah, it's got to be somewhere far from me at least. Yeah, I was talking about it in the Patreon stream yesterday about some kind of tips for sleep and the importance of sleeping. Having a steady, regular bedtime and wake time is so important. I've been doing a lot of testing myself, and I notice how dramatic my mood and my energy levels and my productivity is when I'm not taking care of my body with getting enough sleep and sticking to my sleep times. I'm usually, try and aim for like a 10 p.m. bedtime, and then I get up at like between 5 and 6 usually, depending on when Wolfie wakes me up. Oh, you're over in India. That is so cool. I've never been. Hopefully you like it over there. But yeah, 10:42 p.m. is awfully late for me at least too. But yeah, feeling all fidgety. I just got done with my workout. Does anyone have, like, right when you get done with that workout, you feel kind of like your nerves are shot? I'm a little jumbly right now. Probably be eating breakfast after the stream's over later. David Balbin, cheers from Manila. Love your content. Thanks so much. I'm glad you've been enjoying it. Um, let's see, Chris, a little. Glad you've been doing better, Chris. That's awesome. Last call, I work 3 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Wait, 3. Okay, yeah. I really like the schedule, just had to adjust to this. Yeah, that would be, I used to keep super weird hours when I was in my band. I kind of liked being out late at night too. I think the important part with kind of keeping that steady schedule isn't necessarily like going to bed early or waking up early, but yeah, more about having that consistency. So if that's your schedule, just make sure you're getting proper sleep. But that's super cool. What do you do? I forget if you've told me already, so apologies if I did forget. But yeah, what do you do for a living? Tigar, hello from Indonesia. Hello. We've got a very global audience right now. This is so cool. But yeah, hopefully everyone's been doing well. Yeah, what else should we talk about here? I didn't get any advanced questions for the AMA, so you guys are gonna have to help me out. Keep the questions running. Let's see. Mohi, sir, is MacBook Air 2017 okay to use as a student? Depending on what you're going to school for, most likely yes. If you're just using it for like basic class stuff, like internet and writing and note taking, just all the basic office tasks. Yeah, I mean, you could use a 2012 MacBook Pro and be great with that. My wife actually I upgraded to the 2018 last year from my 2012. And she actually still uses that for her business just because she's not doing video editing or any crazy intensive tasks like I am, but just general office work. Yeah, most new computers are going to be way overkill, at least most of the Apple MacBooks and MacBook Pros. But yeah, anything will work well. But if you are going for 2017 MacBook Air might be a little light if you're going for something like video production or photography or graphic design. I went to school for graphic design originally. My first laptop was a 2008 MacBook when it was the solid white unibody design. I love that thing. I saved up for so long to be able to buy that, and then I used up all of my graduation money from high school and got that for college, and I fell in love. I used to love that computer. And then upgraded to the 2012. That was the first of the Retina display MacBooks, and then 6 years later I just upgraded again, and it's been doing well. I've heard really good things about the 2019 MacBooks. It seems like they solved a lot of the thermal issues that they were having with my generation and some of the previous ones. Because I have the 6-core, and it's honestly fast enough for everything I need it for, so I haven't really had a big problem with it. But you can definitely tell the heat throttles it just a bit. Last call, Texas Department of Corrections. Nice, that's awesome. My sister went to college. She's actually she worked 911 dispatch for a while, and then she's working for, I'm not sure exactly what her title is right now. I kind of feel bad, but yeah, she went to college for criminal justice. That's super cool. Mohit, because I want to go in the field of IT, like coding and stuff. Chris Johnson is in here. I know he's not a big Apple person, but he would probably know a little bit better. I used to do coding in high school, but from my understanding, most like basic coding stuff is pretty light on the intensity. And generally, too, the big weak point with a lot of the MacBook Airs is going to be more the graphics cards, which programming is going to be a lot more CPU intensive. So my guess is you'd be totally fine. Costs around $12.50. Yeah, I mean, I think you'd be great with that. I would double check with some other coders before pulling the trigger if you're not sure. But for my very, very little understanding, I think you'd be fine. Yeah, but before, fun fact, good history of Josh here. Because before I did video, I was in a band and I was a touring musician. But before that, I had a graphic design business. Actually, they kind of overlapped. But I did graphic design for a lot of years, and I thought that was going to be my like final career a long time ago. Ended up panning out differently, and I kind of switched things up, obviously, as I'm here now. But before I got into graphic design, I actually was planning in middle school and high school. I was pretty determined I was going to be a programmer. I learned C++ and Java and BASIC, of course. I think everybody learns BASIC when they're learning coding. But I used to really, really like it. We'd always have projects in high school where the last like 2-3 months of the class we would get to code a video game, or I think we'd get to code whatever we wanted, but me and my friends always just made video games. But yeah, I was determined. I was like, I'm going to make video games. I'm going to be a programmer. But then I just fell in love with graphic design, because it kind of blends some of the tech stuff that I really enjoy about programming, but it's a little more creative and artsy, which I end up really liking. Let's see. Bobster Tech. Hey man, what's your key to consistency with weight loss? I'm constantly yo-yo dieting and I'm really struggling to stay consistent. Excellent question. I was just talking about this in the Patreon stream yesterday. This is something I've drilled in on this channel like a third of the weight loss videos. I'm always bringing this up and it doesn't seem to resonate as well as I ever want it to. The big thing with consistency is you need to deconstruct and make things as easy as possible to follow through. The easiest path for you to take is the one that you're going to take. So you want to make sure that easiest path is the one that keeps you on track. People want extreme results and they want results right away, so they push themselves further and they rely on their willpower solely to get them through. There's ways you can exercise your willpower, and that can help with staying on track and being consistent and being persistent towards your goals. But willpower is only going to get you so far. You need to combine that willpower with strategy, and the strategy is just to go as slow and as easy as you possibly can. It's a marathon, not a sprint. I'm not sure how much weight you have to lose, but I'm assuming anyone that only has 5 pounds to lose or something isn't going to be asking this question. So I'm going to assume you have more weight to lose like I did. But yeah, you need to make it as easy as absolutely possible. That's the only way you're going to stay on track if you have to follow through for a year plus, or even months at a time, to be honest. But so take the steps to prepare. So you have food prepared if you need it. And it just depends a little bit on what issues you're having. Try and recognize the points that are making you fall off track and reverse engineer ways to stop that from happening. Like I used to mess up and go eat fast food just because I was busy and I didn't have any meals planned. So I started prepping my meals and making sure I had things ready to go, because if you have meals prepped in your fridge, that's going to, one, be easier and save you time compared to going out to a drive-through or something. But it's going to be the healthier option. It's going to be the easier option. Another thing that I used to do all the time that was awful, I would have a cheat day, or I'd go over, or I'd mess up on a single day. And then the next day I wouldn't want to weigh myself because I knew I messed up, and like I didn't want to know how bad it was. So then I'd let that mess up turn into days, which turned into weeks, which turned into months, which turned into not only losing my weight loss but gaining weight back. So you need to make sure that you're staying on track. So the big thing that I did to overcome that was I started to weigh myself every day. I know that's not for everyone, but daily weigh-ins for me was a really great way to help combat that. So I stay on top and aware and accountable. I was always the sort of person that would hide from my mistakes and hide from my problems, and just act like they don't exist and retreat into myself. So you just need to make sure, figure out whatever those points are that are making you fail and making you yo-yo and fall off track, and engineer something around that to help you stay on track no matter what. The easiest path is the one that you're going to follow, and that is that. So take it slow, tortoise versus the hare sort of thing. But yeah, hopefully that helps. Mohit, fun fact, iPhone XS Max costs around $1,600 over in India. And then Apple asked why we were being crushed by OnePlus and Samsung. Yeah, it's crazy how different the pricing is globally. Because for, in the US, like iPhones are expensive, we all know that, but so are every big Android flagship is similarly priced, with Samsung and Google. It has been really cool to see, though. It seems like we're finally getting some Android phones that are holding their own against the big flagships at significantly lower prices. So should be a good sign for the future of phones. I'm ready to see some bigger changes. Something a little more dramatic. We've been kind of seeing the same thing over and over and over again. It'd be cool to do that. Apple products in India is more of a status than a tech product. It's funny, that's there's definitely some of that in America here too. I've noticed lately, so I got AirPods from my mom and sister pitched in and got them for me for Christmas. Not this past Christmas, but the one before that, so like a year and a half ago. When I first got those, everyone made fun of people for looking like dweebs with their AirPods, and now everyone gets called a douche for like flexing with their AirPods. It's just hilarious how the public opinion changed so much. And like, I'm just here trying to listen to my music. AirPods fit me really comfortably. And they just work really well. I definitely don't have them to flex. And it's just funny, made fun of everyone for being a dweeb, and then made fun of everyone for, like being a tryhard. Let's see. Bobster, I have 140 pounds to lose. I'm 6 foot 325. Thanks for the advice. Going the easiest path makes a lot of sense. Awesome. And really try and take that to heart if you can. It's one thing to hear it. It's another thing to like listen to it and follow through. Because I know where my mindset was a lot of times, where people gave me advice that wasn't necessarily the path I wanted to take. Go slow. It'll save you so much trouble. I wasted years. My weight loss took 4 years. It realistically should have taken 2 if I wasn't so terrible. That's a lot of why I started this channel and why I've made 100 plus weight loss videos, is because I want to save some of that trouble and time for all of you. So yeah, just really take it slow. I promise the slow route will be the fastest one long term. And it also is really good for teaching you maintenance, And I don't mean any of this to brag, but I really don't struggle at all with my weight now. It's so easy for me to correct because I still weigh myself every day. So it's so easy to spot changes and correct. So I've really been doing, you can call it intuitive eating, I suppose. I'm not really tracking in maintenance. I'm just kind of going with the flow, and things are working perfectly. I never thought I would get to this point at all. So it feels really good. And so it makes putting in all that work early on that much more satisfying, because it's making the rest of my lifetime that much easier now because I did that. Let's see. Last call. I've not been dieting for over a year. Unfortunately, I found that I have to have structure in a diet or I'll overeat. Up about 20 pounds. Yeah, don't sweat it. Yeah, just don't sweat it. Just start fresh. Last call, I I had months. There was one time where I took like a year and a half off, and I gained 60 pounds. So you're nowhere near and any kind of point of no return. You just have to pick yourself back up. That's another big point from kind of rounding back to Bob's question earlier too. Knowing that you're going to make mistakes and learning how to accept that you made the mistake and move on and keep towards your goals is a very, very important skill, because you can't expect yourself to be perfect. You're not going to be perfect. That was part of with me failing and kind of hiding from the problems, because I didn't want to accept the fact that I would do anything but 100%. So just make sure, allow yourself to fail every now and then. And the biggest part with failure is just learning how to keep going after you fail, because everyone's going to fail a billion times. Let's see. Yeah, last call started over 3:30. Let's see. Took a little over 2 years to get to 190. Felt my best around 205, 210. Yeah, that's cool. But yeah, no worries, last call. Just keep at it and you'll be great. Mohit, oh boy, Samsung asks $800 for similar specs as Apple. Companies like OnePlus, just $500. Yeah, stuff like seeing those OnePlus phones, or what was it, the Poco phone? Those are the ones I was talking about, with seeing some of these budget ones come up. But yeah, the Samsung phones, I mean, don't quote me on this, because I'm not, I don't know off the top of my head, just because I'm an iPhone user, but I think, the flagship Samsung phones around here, right around $999, like the iPhones are. Bokeh had to lose over the last 9 years. I'm hoping when I get there, another 16 pounds. Should be amazing at plateauing. I seem to be brilliant at sticking at the same infuriating stone on and off. Oh yeah, I totally know that feeling. With a lot of my missteps and stuff, I hovered right around 250 for so long. I was starting to think, like, I guess this is just what I am, and that's that. But yeah, it just takes that much more effort to get past those pushes. I made a few videos about plateaus, so go check those out if you haven't already. But it sounds like you're doing okay now. Dino, loved your weight loss vid. Thanks so much. Yeah, that initial weight loss story video is, I think it's the biggest video on the channel. There are a few up there now, but I think that one's the only one over 1 million views. Oh my gosh, that obviously I'm proud of the story I told in that video, but from a video production standpoint, oh my gosh, it was like the second video I had ever made. No idea what I was doing. I was not comfortable in front of the camera. It was I rambled and like didn't make my points the way I wanted to. Because originally back then I had a weight loss Instagram account where I was giving everyone advice, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna start a YouTube channel too. So I made that video for like 40 or 50 people that were subscribed to the channel that came over from my Instagram page, and would have never guessed it would take off the way it did. It was so crazy. Mohit, Poco phones are around 250. That's crazy. Yeah, because I think they're $399 here. Pretty sure. Alan Karn, finally realized that the correct mindset is key to healthy lifestyle. Failure is the path of least persistence. Oh, that's brilliant. I love it. Totally true. Bobster Tech, that's definitely one of my biggest issues. I try and go completely perfect, trying to lose weight as fast as possible, and when I mess up, I get super discouraged. Yeah, you're definitely not alone on that. I was really bad with that too. I've always been that with kind of everything, though, up until the last few years and kind of learning more about myself. But I was always the person, if I couldn't do something perfectly, I would just avoid it. I stayed in my comfort zone for so long and only focused on things I knew I was going to be great at. Skated through high school and college and other endeavors and all sorts of stuff like that, just because I wanted to take the safe, easy, comfortable route. But since pushing through and kind of learning so much about myself with achieving long-term goals with my weight loss, You have to force yourself out of that comfort zone if you really want to make any progress towards anything. And I've kind of used a lot of those principles for staying on track and reaching your goals. Everything that I learned with my weight loss has translated so well into the other aspects of my life. I'm far from having everything figured out, so I always worry. I don't mean to sound like I'm like bragging or thinking I'm great or anything, but I've been taking those same kind of methods and strategies and applying them to everything else in my life. And so far, it's been incredibly difficult and scary and uncomfortable, but it's also been absolutely amazing, and it's gotten me so much further towards my goals and my life and my happiness than anything else has before. So, and remember too, with all of this stuff, these steps to reach goals can apply to anything in your life. So the second you start kind of forcing yourself into those situations, you'll be able to get that much further. Let's see. Yeah, playing the long game, making it as easy seems to be the key. Yep, absolutely, Bobster. Dino, stuck at 73 kilograms for ages. I've been going to the gym 3 times a week for 3 months. So far, I'm so frustrated, though, being stuck at this weight, but I'm fitting into my clothes so much better than before. That's awesome. So it sounds like you're still making good progress. Just make sure, though, to remember, if you're having a really difficult time staying on track with your diet and your exercise and your weight loss, your diet needs to be the priority for losing weight. Obviously, strictly losing weight isn't the only thing that matters. Strictly losing pounds or losing kilograms isn't the only thing, but if that's your main goal right now, it does need to come from diet. You can eat you can eat a spoon of peanut butter, and I always equate it to candy, but I think peanut butter is a better option just because it's healthier. You can eat a spoon of peanut butter and you'd have to run for 30-40 minutes to balance out the calories from 2 bites of food. So making sure that that's, your diet is going to have the biggest impact with the least amount of effort. Exercise is super important to be healthy and for long-term fitness, and it can be a great way to kind of add on to your weight loss. But make no mistakes, if you want the easiest path, you want to put your attention and your focus on your diet. I went on and off with different styles of workouts throughout my whole weight loss. Any sort of activity is good. There's a lot to be said. I'm a big fan of walking, obviously. Walking is a really great activity for those kind of getting into fitness and starting to lose weight because it's easy. It doesn't cost any money to walk. And it activates something called slow twitch muscles in your body, which can help kind of increase your metabolism and burn a few more calories. And so it kind of helps you stay active. But compared to a lot of higher intensity workouts, really intense workouts can increase your hunger levels along with the added fitness. So just make sure, some of those they call it low impact steady state cardio. You can get a lot of the same benefits that from the exercise in terms of weight loss without the added hunger. So something else, try different types of workouts and things, but just make sure you're focusing on your diet. Let's see, where are we at in the comments? Bobster, it's not about losing 100 pounds, it's about losing 1 pound 100 times. Oh yeah, great way to put it. I've heard that one before. You might have even told me that one before. Last Call's been around the channel forever. He's amazing. Dino, you looked great, so natural, and the vid looked so professional. Well, that's good to hear. It was that was a very scary time back in 2016, learning to put myself in front of the camera. Because it's weird with all of this. I am very introverted in real life, so it's tough sometimes to overcome that. But yeah, it felt good. It's this weird mix for me, where I really want to help people and I really want to put myself out there, but I'm also so introverted and shy in real life. It's taken a lot of years to kind of overcome that discomfort, and it's definitely not gone. Bobster Tech. Oh yeah, at Last Call. Cool. Dino, I think I'm gaining muscle, and that's why I'm stuck at 73 kilograms. I eat fairly healthy, to be honest. I haven't had candy or sweets in like 2 months because the problem is if I eat anything sweet, I can't stop and I binge then. That's a good move. I'm not a big advocate for eliminating things out of your diet, but just at blanket for everybody. But things like that can be really beneficial and good. Everyone kind of has those trigger foods that are really tough to stay within a proper portion size. I know for me, like trail mix and honey roasted peanuts and stuff like that was always a big thing, and it is now. The stakes are a little bit lower for me now since I'm not losing weight. But yeah, recognizing those foods that are going to cause you to fall off track and kind of coming up with good replacements for that is good. But just know, when the time comes, there's nothing wrong with having an occasional piece of candy or sweet if it's going to help your brain stay on track a little bit longer. A calorie is a calorie mainly. Obviously, there's a lot more to unpack there, but in general, it's mostly a calories in, calories out game. Yeah, and like I said, I know there is more to that. I don't want to trigger anyone too bad, but yeah, that's a good kind of beginner status rule of thumb. Just going to sleep, saying good night from my side. Love from India. Good night, good night, Mohit. Thank you so much for coming in. I appreciate it. Gray, hi Josh, making a comeback. That's awesome. You're on the 5-2 diet. I'm not sure exactly what that is. Is that where you diet during the week and then you have where you're not tracking during the weekends? I think that's what that is. If so, hopefully it's been working well for you. That's awesome. Let me know in the comments what the diet is. David Balbin, been a freelance web designer for a year now. I find that freelance work makes me more creative since there are no set limitations as to what I can do. Feel the same way about freelancing. Yes, it's interesting for me because I don't know if you did web design for a company before, but for me, it's kind of always been that way because I've always created videos by myself. I've never worked for anyone creating videos like at a company, so I can't really speak to the opposite end of it. But it is definitely, that's obviously one of the main reasons why I really like doing this. My time is my own. I like being able to build up my own structure and be my own boss. It's way harder and way more exhausting, but it is equally great. So I think the extra work is worth the payoff in return. But yeah, it definitely feels so good to be creative and kind of have that freedom and flexibility. For me though, I feel like almost doing client work can be a little bit less creative sometimes than what I'm used to, having started on YouTube and solely made YouTube videos for so many years, because making YouTube is kind of the ultimate freedom to do whatever I want, to an extent. Of course, I want to make sure it's stuff that you guys will enjoy too. But so I came from that super freedom spot. So it's a little bit more limiting creating for companies, but definitely, I have the say in what I'm doing, and I can turn down projects or accept projects. People listen to me because I'm the professional. So yeah, it feels great. I love any kind of creative work. It's always, I've bounced around over my lifetime from different creative outlets between, music and design and video production and photography. And, I love it all. It definitely is an itch I need to scratch. Yeah. Let's see. Great. 2 days a week, 600 calories. How do you time your intermittent fasting? Ooh, 2 days a week at 600 calories. That is, well, as long as you're being safe, that's a little extreme. But I know plenty of people that do complete fasting days. I've never really tried anything with that severe low calories on purpose. So just make sure you're being careful. But if it's been working for you, that's great. How do I time my intermittent fasting? That's something, there are pros and cons to different meal timings. But I think the most important thing is to find the timing that fits best into your schedule. That's really how I time my stuff out. I'd usually break my fast around 11 or 12, 11 a.m. or noon. But the main reason for that is because I had all of my morning duties, and then I would walk to work and I'd do all this stuff. And kind of by the time I settled down from my morning stuff was right around that time. So it worked out really well for me because I was busy, and not thinking about eating. And then kind of once I settled down was when I ate, and that just happened to be that time. And then generally, I try and aim for that 16 to 8 where I'm fasting for 16 hours and eating for 8. But yeah, just figure it out whatever way fits best into your schedule. I don't know if you were here earlier when I was talking, Gray, but the big thing, you want to make it as easy as possible for yourself. So whatever timing is going to be the easiest to work into your schedule is definitely going to be the most optimal, because say you completely uproot and eat on some crazy schedule that's super unnatural for you for the sake of losing more weight, you might be affecting that positively in 2 or 3 percentage points. So maybe you're 2 or 3 percentage points ahead, but because you're trying to force yourself into that doesn't really fit in your life, you are way more likely to fall off track. So that 2 to 3% of potential benefit that you might receive from going against the grain for your own schedule is going to most likely come back and bite you, because you just have to make sure and work with something that's going to fit best into your schedule. Last call. Oh yeah, Bob. Yeah, hit up Last Call if you need. He's great. Yeah, absolutely. Dino, I just can't find balance when it comes to sweets. I'm all or nothing. It's so hard. Chocolate is so good. It's that's just something that, for me at least, gets easier with time. I still have a pretty crazy sweet tooth, to be honest, especially now. And I realize this is like total champagne problems, but because I have so many extra calories now in maintenance compared to weight loss, it makes it harder sometimes to turn down sweets when I know I can fit them into my day. So usually I'm still even working on limiting my sweets when I can. But it's difficult though. If I can maintain my weight and feel good and be happy and eat sweets, it's like, why not? There's definitely a level where too much is too much. But the big thing, like you said, you kind of cut that stuff out for now. I think that's a good temporary move, or maybe like have once a month where you allow yourself to have something. It's just trial and error. But yeah, I definitely would not recommend just to permanently ban, because I think that complete banishment is going to add to that. If I get some, I got to have all of it. The more you allow yourself to have it and you work it into your daily calorie goals, your daily calorie goal is going to help kind of regulate yourself. Because if you're sticking to your goals and you can fit in a piece of candy or something, that's going to kind of auto-correct your portion sizes if you're being true to your calorie goals. So that's always a good move. But in my experience, the more I try and cut something out, the more I want to have larger quantities of it. Once I started really opening up my diet and allowing myself to have whatever things sounded good or felt good, as long as I could fit them into my day. Once I started doing that, I felt like I got released from that tough time of like binging on stuff I shouldn't be. Because if you allow yourself to have it and you have it regularly, it's going to be less like, ooh, I need to have this right now because I haven't had it in forever and who knows when I'll be able to have it again. But that is also a lot more difficult and can take a lot more self-control in the early stages. So just try some different things, see what works, see what doesn't work. Definitely lots of strategies to get there. Let's see. I'm falling a little bit behind in the comments. Hopefully you guys don't mind. Let's see. Where are we at? I lost my spot. Oh, okay. Last call, waffles and weight loss. Thanks for the shout out, Josh. Headed to the gym. New headphones. Nice. You're probably already gone now, but curious to know what headphones you got. Have a good gym session, though. Bobster, what's your Instagram? Yeah, it's macromade something. He put it up in the thread earlier. Gray, hi, Josh. I know you do intermittent fasting. I'm doing the 5-2, which is 600 calories twice a week. how do you do your intermittent fasting? I already got to you earlier. Yeah, just figure out which timing works best for you. 16 to 8 is generally a good starting point, rule of thumb. But I'm a big advocate too for easing into stuff. So if you want to start with a 12-hour eating window and then 11, then 10, then 9, then 8, just kind of slowly work it down as you can. I have noticed for me personally, if I condense down too much, even if I can mentally do that and like hunger levels do that, I tend to upset my stomach if I eat all my calories in such a short amount of time. So that's something to keep in mind. But yeah, just test and see what fits best for you. Let's see. Healthy lifestyle diet somehow makes you a nicer person to those around you. You become more empathetic, I guess. Yeah, I would say in general, I mean, I'm a lot, yeah, because I think people will be overweight and be unhappy, and that kind of negative mindset definitely seeps out into the real world. I think once you start taking care of yourself a little bit better and feeling better about yourself, yeah, that comes across to everybody. Absolutely. SW Best, every time I do fast, I end up ill. Yeah, like I said, for me too, sometimes if I condense that down too short, it can be a little brutal on my stomach. No need to worry though. You don't need to intermittent fast. Beside having it be a strategy to keep your calorie goals in check, I mean, once again, you're, like I talked about earlier, you might be gaining a few percentage points in benefit, but if it's going to make your stomach upset or make you fall off track, it's not worth it. Go with the easiest thing possible. T.O., hi Josh, how's it going? I think you usually make all the live streams. I appreciate it. Wayward Woodworker, hey Josh, hope things are going well there. Things are going well. Busy, and chaotic and stressful, but amazing at the same time. It's been this weird blend for me this whole year where, like, to be honest, I've never been more like stressed out and busy and overwhelmed, but it's also been amazing at the same time. It's tough to describe, and it makes me feel like I'm an insane person, but my life is crazy right now, but it's also amazing. Yeah, amazing and difficult and terrible and great all at once. Let's see. I started OPMAD thing. I don't know what that is. OPMAD? OMAD? OMAD. I transitioned from IF and just kept extending the length of my fast each day. Decided I need a reboot on my weight loss journey. It seems like a simple option. Oh, OMAD, 1 meal a day. I wish I could do that. Like I said, I tried to condense down further, and it just upset my stomach too much. But I tried that a few times. Other than it upsetting my stomach, I actually really liked it. So glad hopefully it's been working well for you. That's cool. Tom Sawyer, I've come to realize I'm just too undisciplined to diet. I have 4 times lost over 30 pounds and gained it all back. I don't know why I can't prevail. It's not about being disciplined or not. It's about going at it with the right strategy. Everyone can lose a lot of weight super quick. It's much more difficult to lose a lot of weight over a long period of time and to keep the weight off. So rethink your strategy, figure out what points are making you fall off, and go about it the next time with a way to correct those potential faults. You want to make it as easy as possible. It's the only way you're going to stay on track. So don't try and do too much too soon. That's what everybody does. That's what I did. You want to make it slow and painfully easy. You want to be irritated about how simple and how slow things are going, because that's when you stay on track long term. Let's see. Dino, thanks so much. I'm going now and have a wonderful day. Thank you for coming in. I'm glad I could help. You have a wonderful day also. SW Best, great advice. I get ill because I restrict my calories, then I eat lots when I'll get, if I could talk. I'll restrict my calories, then eat lots when I'll get to better. 1 meal a day. Yep. Edward Cortez, new member here. I've seen some videos. Do you speak Spanish? Be aware you are in Mexico. I do not speak Spanish. Fun fact, though, my mother-in-law is from Mexico. So my wife is half Mexican. But yeah, my wife's mother came over and lived in Texas from when she was a child. I can't remember, something. I think she was less than 10 or right around 10 years old. They came over to America. And then fun fact, my I think it was my grandpa or my great grandpa came to America from Belfast. I'm like half Polish and half Irish and a bunch of other stuff mixed in there that I don't really know due to some family drama. But yeah, yeah. So it was my grandparents. I think it was my grandpa when he was a kid and my great grandpa when he was an adult, but it might have just been my great grandpa. I can't remember exactly. Unfortunately, my grandfather passed away about 10 or 11 years before I was born, so I was never able to meet him. Didn't mean to bring the mood down. Let's keep going on the comments. But yeah, I do not speak Spanish. I knew the rap from Community. If anyone watches Community, right? I'm going out. See you later. Thanks so much for popping in. This has been so much fun. Lots of good comments. I appreciate it. Have a good day. Does anyone else have any questions or anything though? If it looks like we're slowing a bit down in the comments. If I'm happy to stay on and chat some more. If anyone wants to ask me anything. Tom Sawyer, love the live stream, but Wolfie would make it even better. He should be somewhere around here. I'll give me like 10 seconds. Let me see if I can grab him. Nope, he is under the bed sleeping, so didn't want to pull him out. He has a few different sleep spots. A lot of times he will yeah, he lays in the middle of the room in our like living room area so he can see me in my office, or he lays in my closet over here, or he's got his perch right here. But yeah, one of his regular spots is under the bed. And yeah, so he is indisposed. I'm so obsessed with him though. Thank you so much for asking. I've realized though, you guys have seen it from when I got him to now. I've become just an insane person with my love of him and cats in general. It's he's so sweet though. I can't handle it. If anyone's on TikTok, I know most of the audience around here is too old for TikTok because I'm also too old for TikTok. But I kept hearing about TikTok. I might be sounding like a giant old man right now, but I kept hearing about TikTok a while back, like a few weeks ago. So I signed Wolfie up for it and just started posting goofy Wolfie videos on there. He's blown up. He's got almost 1 million views on TikTok in a few weeks and like 12,000 subscribers. And he has more subscribers than or more followers on Instagram than I do. He's one famous spoiled boy. He's so sweet though. He deserves it. Let's see. You know, cats never come when you want them. No, they don't. He calls us when he wants us. He is definitely the leader of the household. He's not a lap cat at all. He loves spending time near us, but not on us. But yeah, he usually yells until we come to him and pet him on the ground or on one of his chairs or something. He has so many damn pieces of cat furniture. Let's see. Tom Sawyer never disturbed the cat. Isn't that the truth? Bobster, I hated cats until I got one. Now I love cats. That's what happened to me when I was a kid. I was always a dog person growing up, and then I had a cat named Simon when I was a kid, and he just wandered up to our house, and he was very domesticated. He wandered up to our house. We couldn't find his owner, so we kept him. He was such an amazing cat, and yeah, he's what made me a cat person for sure. And then once I got Wolfie, 2 years ago now, once I got Wolfie, it really just pushed me over the edge where I know I'm a complete weirdo. It's been cool though. I haven't gotten to talk about this much just because so many of these little fun facts are just too boring to make a video about, and then too like rambling to add into other videos. So I like having the live stream here to be able to talk about stuff. But I actually have I just made a video for a nonprofit organization called Rock Cats Rescue. They're like a touring fake like band slash circus of foster cats that were rescued, and they like do goofy stuff on stage. But the company or the organization like goes around the country and tours, and they help rescue cats and stuff. I just made a promotional video for their charity, and then which was super fun. I just got that, and then I just had a meeting a couple days ago for another adoption kind of charity agency in town here called Animal Aid. So I'm going to be making a video for them too. So it's been fun to see. I have my cat photography business, which has been mostly just volunteer foster work at this point, just because I haven't marketed it very much. But I'm starting to get more video clients relating to the cat stuff. So I'm hoping the more I get, the more I'm hoping I can start going around to make more of these videos for the different organizations. Such a great and positive community around a lot of that stuff with like feral cats or cats in need of adoption and all that. It's been cool. Also feels great to help. As we've been transitioning, I haven't been talking solely about weight loss on the channel, and been doing some other stuff here. I always like educating, and I like helping people so much. So the people I've worked with on the cat side of things, I've just been so incredibly appreciative. It feels great to be there. I have ancestry from Northern Ireland, says Gray. We could be related. Nice. Yeah, I've never been to Ireland. I would love to go. Ireland and London are both on my list of like top places in Europe I'd like to visit. There's just something about London that seems like I would love it. I feel like I have a good mindset for it. Eduardo, sorry about my orthography, trying to improve my English, watching English videos. This stuff helps me. Oh yeah, you're doing great. No need to apologize. So many, second language speakers. Yeah, there's too many jerks out there giving you a hard time. You're doing great. English is a super hard language to learn. Don't worry about it. And Gray, we want Wolfie. Let him sleep. Yeah, lately he's either up yelling for pets, or he goes to bed and wakes up when he wants food and yells at me until I feed him. Wayward woodworker, to dogs your family, to cats your staff. That is so accurate. He does love us though. There's a lot of cat behavior stuff that people don't realize, and he really does show a lot of appreciation to us. That's something, hopefully, once I'm able to make kind of steadier money on YouTube and kind of all my online businesses, where I can focus a little bit less on clients, I want to actually start a second channel talking about cat stuff only, to go with my cat photography business. Because I've done an embarrassing amount of studying on like cat behavior just so I can take care of Wolfie better. It's also helped a lot with the photography business, but there's lots of ways they show you can help. But it's definitely they see themselves as equals. They are not subordinate. But let's see, Austin. Good looks, Josh. Glad to hear you're doing what you love. Thank you. Yeah, it's been a little stressful on the money front, but like I said earlier, like it's stressful and exhausting and terrible and amazing and the best thing I could possibly want to do all at the same time. As much as I've been having like a tough time with getting stuff set up and exhausting myself, I really wouldn't have it any other way. It's been good. And luckily I have my awesome wife that also has a pretty successful hair business now. So between the two of us, we've been figuring it out, and it's just going to keep getting better and better. Austin, so does Camille have her own salon, or does she work for one? My GF and I follow her Insta, and she seems just as passionate as you. That's so cool. There's a few people that I know from here that watch her Instagram. I've been trying to keep her motivated and on track with it too, but yeah, she's been doing great. She doesn't own a salon, but she also doesn't really work for anybody. She rents, they call it booth rent, is a really common thing with hair salons. So she rents a space at a salon, but her business is her own. So she sets her hours and her prices, and she doesn't really answer to anybody she just rents a space. So she has a landlord essentially, but just rents a single space there. But yeah, she's been doing amazing, doing so well. That's tough for her. When we moved out to Portland from Michigan, she had a pretty established hair business back in Michigan, but moving out here, she essentially had to start from square one. So she had to build up, from client one all over again. And with a bigger market, you have to be better, especially if you want to charge higher prices. And she's been doing so well. It should be a big year for her. And yeah, she's been really trying on her Instagram. I'll be sure to let her know that you noticed, because she gets too in her head. I try and give her my advice as much as I can without being too controlling, but she just gets embarrassed about putting her face out there and stuff. And I tell her, it never goes away, but it's worth it, and people love it, and I'm glad it comes across for her too. Gray, does she cut your hair? Yes, she does. She would prefer she not cut my hair, but just because I'm picky. But I've also lately, because I'm working from home, I don't care as much. Also, fun fact: if you ever see me with a hat on, it means I just didn't style my hair, and I didn't feel like going to shower and style my hair. So, but yeah, she does cut my hair. She does a great job at it. Early on when she was going to hair school, she cut my hair too. This was like 8 years ago, and I went through a few rough cuts early on, but she is, she's a big fish in a big pond out here in Portland, so it feels good. Eduardo, how difficult is it to be in Mexico about the language? I'm not really sure. I've only been to Mexico once. And and I think the YouTube videos just go globally, so I'm not sure. Does anyone else have any questions or anything though? If not, I think I might head out and go make some breakfast. Fun fact: I'm having my open-faced egg sandwich for breakfast, as I do every day. I made a recipe video on it, so go watch it if you haven't before. That's what I've been eating for breakfast like every single day. Super simple, super cheap, relatively healthy. I've just been having it. It's 3 eggs. I kind of cook them. It's like half like scrambled eggs, half like an omelet. And I put hummus because I haven't been able to eat any cheese. I figured out I'm lactose intolerant. But so a piece of toast, a layer of hummus, and then 3 eggs kind of formed into a rough patty over it. It's super delicious. I have it every morning. It's great. That's one of the awesome things I've really enjoyed about working from home, is being able to just after this I can go into my actual kitchen at home and make a breakfast and then get back to work. I used to when I was working at Bedmart selling mattresses, we built out a whole mini kitchen in our back room, and we had a hot plate and a toaster oven. I used to cook all sorts of crazy stuff back there, but it was always such a pain. Feels awesome to be able to cook stuff at home. But well, looks like we are just about at an hour, and I am out of things to talk about. So I think I'm gonna head out, go make some breakfast. Thank you guys all so much for coming along though. This was fun. Like I mentioned before, I'm gonna start doing these every month for the AMAs. I think it's a lot more fun this way to be able to chit chat, and I can go on tangents more, and the direct communication is super fun with all of this. So Alan Karn, you're making me hungry. It's 4 a.m. Well, sorry about that. You gotta get to bed. That's way too late. but all right, guys. I will talk to everybody later. Thanks so much for the support. Make sure to, shameless plug, go check out my Patreon page if you want to see more of these. I do live streams there every week. There's only a handful of us, so we really deep dive into stuff a little more thoroughly. So check out the Patreon page. A few bucks a month will help me immensely in paying my bills and staying afloat, keeping the lights on, staying fed. So it's patreon.com/Josh Fenn. Go check that out. But otherwise, I will see you all next time, and see you in the video next week.